The early 1630s saw a wave of English settlers arriving on the shores of what is now Connecticut. These were families fleeing religious persecution. They sought a place to worship freely and govern themselves. The fertile Connecticut River Valley promised a new beginning. Among them were Thomas Hooker and his congregation. They established Hartford in 1636. Other settlements like Wethersfield and Windsor soon followed. These settlers faced hardship and conflict. They contended with harsh winters and resistance from the Pequot tribe. Yet they persevered, driven by faith and the promise of a better life. These settlements were experiments in self-governance. They believed government should derive its power from the consent of the governed. This principle, enshrined in the Mayflower Compact, found fertile ground in Connecticut, shaping American democracy. In 1639, the fledgling settlements of Connecticut faced a pivotal moment. They needed a framework for governance, a document that would unite them and establish a just and stable society. Out of this need arose the Fundamental Orders of Connecticut, a document hailed as the first written constitution in the Western world. Drafted by representatives from Hartford, Wethersfield and Windsor, the Fundamental Orders established a government based on the consent of the governed. It outlined the structure of government, defined the powers of elected officials, and guaranteed fundamental rights to all citizens. This was a radical departure from the monarchical systems of Europe. The Fundamental Orders were more than just a set of rules. They were a covenant, a solemn agreement among free people to govern themselves. It enshrined the principles of representative government, individual liberty, and the rule of law. These principles, deeply rooted in the soil of Connecticut, would later blossom in the Declaration of Independence and the United States Constitution. The 17th century was a time of growth and turmoil for Connecticut. The colony prospered, attracting new settlers and expanding its territory. However, its autonomy was constantly challenged by the English crown, which sought to exert greater control over its American colonies. In 1662, after years of negotiation, Connecticut was granted a royal charter by King Charles II. The charter recognized Connecticut's existing system of government and granted it a remarkable degree of self-rule. This victory was short-lived. In 1687, King James II revoked the charter and placed Connecticut under the Dominion of New England, a move met with fierce resistance. Connecticut's defiance of the Crown reached its peak in the legendary Charter Oak incident. As the story goes, when Sir Edmund Andros, the royal governor, arrived in Hartford to seize the charter, colonists hid the document in a hollow oak tree. This act of defiance became a symbol of Connecticut's independent spirit. From its earliest days, Connecticut was a hub of innovation and industry. The colony's abundant natural resources, coupled with the ingenuity of its people, fueled economic growth and technological advancement. Water-powered mills sprang up along the Connecticut River, harnessing the power of nature to grind grain, saw lumber and power nascent industries. Connecticut's craftsmen and inventors gained renown for their ingenuity. Eli Terry, a clockmaker from Plymouth, Connecticut, revolutionized clockmaking by developing mass production techniques. His innovations made clocks affordable for ordinary people, transforming timekeeping from a luxury into an everyday necessity. Connecticut's inventors didn't stop at clocks. From the invention of the sewing machine by Elias Howe to the development of the Colt revolver by Samuel Colt, Connecticut's inventors played a pivotal role in shaping the industrial landscape of America. These innovations not only brought prosperity to the state, but also solidified Connecticut's reputation as a cradle of ingenuity. Section 5. A revolution forged in Unity, Connecticut's contribution to independence. As tensions with Great Britain escalated in the 1770s, Connecticut stood shoulder to shoulder with its fellow colonies. The spirit of self-governance, enshrined in the Fundamental Orders over a century earlier, fueled the fires of revolution. Connecticut's delegates to the Continental Congress were vocal advocates for independence. When war erupted in 1775, Connecticut answered the call to arms with unwavering resolve. Connecticut soldiers, led by generals like Israel Putnam and Benedict Arnold, distinguished themselves on battlefields across the colonies. The state's factories and mills churned out weapons and supplies for the Continental Army, earning Connecticut the moniker Provision State. Beyond the battlefield, Connecticut played a crucial role in securing the fledgling nation's finances. John Trumbull, Connecticut's governor throughout the war, was a trusted advisor to George Washington. He used his personal wealth and influence to raise funds and supplies for the Continental Army. His son, also named John Trumbull, achieved fame as an artist, immortalizing the events of the Revolution in his iconic paintings. Section 6. From Arsenal to Innovation Hub Connecticut in the 19th century. The 19th century witnessed Connecticut's transformation from an agricultural society to an industrial powerhouse. The Industrial Revolution, fueled by technological advancements and a wave of immigration, swept through the state. Factories sprung up along the Connecticut River, producing textiles, firearms, and a wide array of manufactured goods. Connecticut's inventors continued to push the boundaries of innovation. Charles Goodyear, a New Haven native, discovered the process of vulcanizing rubber, revolutionizing the use of this versatile material. Samuel Morse, a professor at Yale University, developed the telegraph and Morse code, ushering in a new era of long-distance communication. The growth of industry brought about significant social and economic changes. Cities like Hartford, New Haven, and Bridgeport grew rapidly, attracting immigrants from Europe and other parts of the United States seeking work in the state's factories and mills. Labor unions emerged, advocating for better working conditions and fair wages for the growing industrial workforce. Section 7. A legacy of progress Connecticut in the 20th century and beyond. The 20th century saw Connecticut continue its legacy of innovation and progress. The state played a pivotal role in both world wars, its factories and shipyards, churning out vital war materials. In the post-war era, Connecticut's economy diversified, with industries like insurance, finance, and aerospace gaining prominence. Connecticut maintained its commitment to education, with institutions like Yale University and the University of Connecticut becoming renowned centers of learning and research. The state also became a leader in social reform, enacting progressive legislation in areas such as civil rights, environmental protection, and healthcare. As Connecticut entered the 21st century, it faced new challenges and opportunities. The decline of manufacturing, globalization, and economic shifts presented new obstacles. Yet, the state's spirit of innovation and resilience endured. Connecticut invested in emerging industries like biotechnology, renewable energy, and advanced manufacturing, positioning itself for continued success in the global economy. Section 8. The Spirit of Connecticut, a beacon of innovation and resilience. From its beginnings as a refuge for religious freedom to its rise as an industrial powerhouse, Connecticut has shaped the American narrative. Innovation and self-reliance define its history. The state has faced challenges and setbacks, yet its people show unwavering commitment to progress. Connecticut's story is one of evolution and adaptation.